Hello, everyone. So I'm so excited today. I have Michelene Adamo. She is the founder of Ka-Pow Life, and she's also the only, other than Cole Robinson, she's the only snake diet coach slash advocate. So super excited to have her on. I have followed her for a while since I started fasting, and she is Italian, South African. She currently lives in Dubai, and she's a mother of a 16-year-old son. She is a professional dancer, she's a dance teacher, nutritionist, fitness and body sculpting trainer. She's also competed in physique and bikini in US and South Africa. And she's been in the health and dance industry for quite some time, for over the last 27 years. So she's got just an amazing amount of knowledge, and she is definitely a legend for sure. And just as a reminder, everything that we both discussed in this episode is just general information only. It's not intended to be a substitute for medical advice. So always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes. If you enjoy the content discussed in this episode, please go and review it on Apple Podcasts and share it with others so they can benefit from it as well. Welcome, Michelene Adamo. Did I say your name correctly?
Yes, Michelene Adamo. At the moment, it's Michelene Adamo Rhinos.
That's right. So you did just get married. I wanted to congratulate you on your beautiful wedding. I saw some pictures on your Instagram, and you got married. You just came back from South Africa, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your wedding. How in the world an Italian girl that grew up in South Africa ended up in Dubai? Can you talk about your nationality a little bit?
Well, I was born in an Italian family. I was born in South Africa, Cape Town. My family is originated from Sicily and Naples. But, born in South Africa, I was brought up as an Italian South African because the family, obviously growing up in South Africa, I pursued my own career. I ventured into my passions of what I love to do, and that was dance and nutrition and health and everything else. And long story short, I reached my limit in South Africa. I achieved everything I wanted to do. Everything I've put down on my list, everything that I wanted, I achieved in South Africa. And I wanted more. I thought I need to grow much bigger within myself. I've got a son, he's 16 years old, and I want to move further. I don't want to bring my son up in one place. I want him to be a child of the world. And I wanted to pursue more. I knew there was much more for me. And Dubai was calling. Dubai was calling. So I almost ended up in Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
So I got two positions in Abu Dhabi. So the one was at the New York University of Abu Dhabi, and that was to be a wellness and health coach at the university. And the other position, which was very promising, it was actually almost guaranteed that I would open up a health and wellness division in the American School of Education.
Wow.
But so you can understand it was very exciting. I wanted more. I needed to expand myself because I was bursting inside. I needed to get more and experience more from life. And at the end of the day, I decided to invest in a business license, invest in growing myself, and open up my own company in Dubai.
So how long ago, when did you move to Dubai? How long ago was this?
Now 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Is your family still in South Africa? Do you still have family there?
Yes, I have my family's in South Africa, but I've now got my son and my life in Dubai.
Wow, that's amazing. And then you met the man of your dreams in Dubai, I suppose?
No, this is the most wonderful part, okay?
Oh.
And this is what I try and teach many people. When you have a vision for yourself, and you want to pursue it and you go for it, you got to just keep the faith. And faith is something that you feel, but you cannot see it. You can see it in your visualizations,
Mm.
etc. But
Mm-hmm.
I used to play with this because I had great faith, great things are going to be coming my way because that's what I wanted. And I don't
Yeah.
accept anything else. So even when there's a challenge along the way, I take it with both hands. I know there's just something to learn along the way. And how's this? I met my now husband, I met him in Cape Town, South Africa,
Wow.
a week before I was moving to Dubai / Abu Dhabi. So when we met, it was actually we spotted each other. It's like a little romantic story. We spotted each other across the floor in the venue,
Wow.
and we got chatting, etc. And I said it was so nice to meet you, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be staying here. I'm leaving, and that's it, you know. So he's like, "Well, where are you going?" I said, "No, I'm moving over to the UAE." So he goes, "I'll see you there." And
Wow.
he resides in Dubai. So he's been living in Dubai already for 20 years.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
So he met in South Africa, but he was not from South Africa. He was from Dubai.
He is a German South African and he works in Dubai for the past 20 years.
Oh my gosh. It's like it was you were meant to meet him. How beautiful. Oh my
It was
gosh.
funny.
Gives me
And
like goosies. Like I got goosebumps, literally.
I love my little story of its reality. It was a real story, you know. And the funny thing is, as well, before I met him,
Yeah.
and before going to Dubai, I wasn't sure if I was going to be moving, but I knew I was. And I always look for little signs along the way. And it was so funny. I was at the gym the one morning,
Oh my
and
gosh.
obviously I do my meditations and that. And some elderly man was walking up the stairs, and I'm on the treadmill as per usual. And he's got a t-shirt coming up the stairs. And I say, just give me a sign that I am going to be going, everything's going to be going correctly. And then she's got Dubai on his
Wow.
t-shirt. How funny.
That's incredible.
So for 1 year, we were long distance dating, long distance relationship for 1 year. So he would come visit me, I'll visit him, and then I'd say just under a year, and then I made the move. I'm going to do this, and
Wow. How did you get started with fasting? And how did you come across Cole Robinson? This is so incredible because that's how I found you as well through Cole Robinson. So
okay,
please tell us the story.
okay. So obviously, as you all know, I have a passion for what I do. I'm passionate about health and taking care of wellness and mental state. And I am continuously upgrading and researching my knowledge in my line of work.
Mhm.
And with everything changing all the time, I continuously keep myself on my toes. So I have always been fasting, but not publicly, and because many people before Cole was able to open his mouth about it, I
Yeah.
always knew about it and I always believed in it, and I was always incorporating fasting into my lifestyle. And I wanted to do further research on it
Mhm.
to bring it into my nutrition programs with my clients.
Mhm.
And obviously through the research, bam, there I see Jason Fung. Obviously,
Mhm.
we all know Fung. And then at the same time, I see Cole. And I'm like, this guy obviously has captured my attention
Yeah.
because everything he's been saying, besides
Yes.
choice of words, everything he's saying is on point.
Mhm.
It's plain and simple that everybody can understand. It's on point. He's not
Mhm.
hiding or ducking and diving anything.
Mhm.
How it is. And yeah, so that's how I found Cole, was through my research. And immediately I went straight bang into a 72. It was the greatest I've ever felt because of the clarity I had achieved through a 72 and how much work I had completed in those 3 days within my personal work projects.
Is
I
that the
felt,
longest fast, the first longest fast?
yes, at that time, it was the first longest fast I've ever did. I've always incorporated fasting into my lifestyle. But I completed that 72 and I loved every minute of it. And I immediately contacted Cole. I phoned him up and I said to him, you are speaking everything that I do. You've got the courage to speak it out. And I would like to promote fasting and promote snake diets into my line of work. And that's how we got to know each other, because I'm a professional in my line of work and it goes hand in hand fantastically. And I've been a coach for 27 years. So
Wow.
I've been working with people for 27 years, transforming their lives. And with this chatting with Cole and him getting to understand me and getting to know me, that trust is built up with
Wow.
combined. Yeah.
That's amazing. So yeah, I wasn't sure if you went through like I don't know if you like had weight issues or anything and that's how you found him, but this was just through your own research and experimenting with fasting. So you've
Yes.
never have you ever had like weight issues at all, or
Right.
this was just mainly for health reasons and experimenting?
Well, now in my life, it's for health reasons. So I don't do the experiment. I do the experimenting on myself first, but besides experimenting, it's a whole package thing. Okay,
Yeah.
everything I coach. Um, but as a child growing up, I come from a family, except my immediate family, my mom and dad. Um, the rest of the family, they are obese. So growing up, I knew exactly what I wanted and what I didn't want. I knew exactly, I saw the happiness and I saw the sadness. I saw the struggles and I saw the victory. So, and there was no ways I was going to end up obese. So I grew up with I'm going to say it, my dad and my brother used to always tease me if I became a bit chubby. So I was kind of like bullied,
Yeah.
playful manner, but it hurt me. It hurt me so badly that I lost all my confidence. That as growing up as a 16-year-old, with adolescent puberty, and that you put on a little bit of weight and hormones are crazy. And I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I didn't like myself. I was a bit chubby and teased from my brother, my father, and I was just determined to take care. But I was a dancer. I did dancing and taking care of my health and my strength of my body was imperative to me for what I wanted for my future. And my father was in the health industry. He was a bodybuilder. So I looked up to him. I was like a little fly on his shoulder every day because he is a very disciplined man.
That's
And I
awesome.
could watch and learn from his discipline. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing that you had that growing up, seeing that, because it does take a lot of discipline to
Yeah.
compete, or, I mean, you've competed, which we'll talk about it because I'm super curious to hear about that because I'm training for my first bikini show this year. So what have been the biggest changes that you've seen in people utilizing fasting? I mean, obviously for you, it wasn't just weight loss, it was health. And I think sometimes people forget about, like, they over focus on that weight, that number on the scale, and they forget about the other benefits, the mental benefits, like being able to feel clear mentally and just feeling good overall. It's more important than any of that number on that scale. And that number is going to go down when you fix this and
Yeah.
you feel better. that number is going to go down, especially when you have such a powerful tool, easy, cheap, and powerful tool such as fasting.
Yes, yes. So the main thing is I see the confidence grow insanely with women.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with whoever I'm coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So is that their confidence and their self-belief
Yeah.
strengthened to a next level,
Mm-hmm.
because now they believe in themselves
Mm-hmm.
and they don't realize what's happening to them mentally. The self-development, I always say the self-development is at its
Yeah.
greatest when you are fasting, and they don't really realize what is happening. But me as a coach, I see it in them, and
Mm-hmm.
later when they carry on for 30 days and another 30 days, depending on how long their journey needs to be, they their lifestyle is transformed,
Mm-hmm.
their habits have changed. So fasting gives you the renewed self-belief that is required in order to make these changes within your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. I
New
agree.
habits are formed.
I 100% agree. And people say, and I don't know, I've read this somewhere, when you can control what you eat and what you drink, and being like, and going for 3 days without food and being able to be in control of that, it changes something inside of you. I think like you said, it gives you that confidence, like I can do anything. It's like the
Absolutely.
first level of self-discipline and being able to control that, because again, in our culture, not just the United States but all over the world, that food addictions, to food, to alcohol, to everything, like people are so out of control. And
Yeah.
they can't, they're at 11 o'clock in the morning, they're hangry. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what is hanger is an emotion. You got to control your emotion. It's not the food. Is this right here that you have to um, control first. So yeah, I
And it's
100%
also,
agree with that. That is so, oh, and I'm so happy that fasting is becoming a little bit more popular out there. People are starting to look into it more, because again, of all the amazing health benefits and the ease of doing it. I mean, it's just so simple. You just don't eat, right?
well, it's easy as you just don't eat. But I would love to add to what you were saying about with the fasting. If majority of the people are using fasting to lose weight, right?
Hmm.
But it's not about the you okay, you lose weight, but then you can also put it back on so quickly. But the
Hmm.
fasting is the meant you got to lose the weight. It starts with the mind, starts mentally. So once you start to transform the mind, your emotions will also start to strengthen, your
Hmm.
hormones start to change, and that food addiction as a result changes as well. So you're not going to be eating via an emotional system anymore. You're going to be eating for different reasons, because the self-development part from fasting
Hmm.
has renewed, has changed, because your self-respect has increased.
Hmm.
Your understanding of yourself through the self-development part of why you are eating through these
Yeah.
different emotions. So your self-worth and your respect and your values and your standards for yourself, that is what it changes. And then you can understand how to eat beautifully through
Yes.
the knowledge of good nutrition.
Yes. Oh, that's very well said, and I 100% agree. I think it's just, yeah, it's just not just the weight loss, but there's just something that changes. And I've dealt with my weight issues for about the last 10 years, and any diet I started, like let's say keto, I did it for 2 years, went back to eating normal, like
Mhm.
carbs, I regained most of the weight. And with
Mhm.
fasting, this is the first time, and it's been a year, almost a year now, that I have maintained my weight loss. That's never happened to me. Never. Because fasting is so liberating. It's so easy to incorporate in your life. And like you said, it changes this in here. It just kind of gives you that peace that, what, I don't need to be binge eating this food. Like I'm eating to nourish my body, to replenish, nourish. It's not because I'm emotional wreck, right? So I think that that's huge, that with fasting. And I think people sometimes forget that. They just focus on that number, and it's
Yes.
great because it's such a great weight loss tool, but it's
Mhm.
not just about that number. There's so much more that changes with fasting for sure.
If it's
Yeah.
just the weight loss, you're still going to have the problem
Mm-hmm.
because why do you put it not on in the first place,
Yeah.
So self-development is major. That's first on the list.
I love that. I do want to kind of, we'll go back to the fasting part, but I want to kind of touch on, like, you've had your bikini competitions, like you won the Miss Bikini US, excuse me, South Africa, right? In 2013. And you went to Vegas and earned a title like Fitness Bikini America, right? You
Yes, it's
placed
for the
first in
physique.
the physique and a third for the overall, right? Which is
Yes,
amazing. Congratulations.
it
Did
was
you do any fasting during that time? Were you already incorporating fasting? How did you get into the whole bikini competitions and all
okay.
that?
So the way I got started in the bikini competitions, I was the choreographer for all the fitness pageants in South Africa for
Ah,
Miss SA. So for all the years, I was choreographing the dancing side of the openings of the pageants with all the contestants.
mhm,
And a lot of them became clients of mine to choreograph their routines and do their nutrition, etc. And I was encouraged to compete through the organizers of the pageants,
mhm,
um, as well as through my clients, where I was just, I'm dancing, I'm doing my fitness stuff. I'm not into competing at the time. But I
mhm,
said, okay, let's do it, for the fun of it. And at the time when I first competed, because everybody was encouraging me to do that, but the very first time I did it out of my own
mhm,
was to, because I was already in, I'd say at the time when I competed, I was in good shape from dancing
mhm,
and my nutrition was on point, etc. But I did it purely to grow myself again, I'm saying mentally, because I went through a stressful time in my life at the time. I think it was around 2009.
mhm,
That it was my first competition, 2009, around there, 2008. And I needed to grow myself. And I did that. I challenged myself and it was fantastic. So ever since then, I did it then more for the enjoyment and the fun of it and
mhm,
etc. Where a lot of the bikini girls do it to transform their physique and not know how to get back into their shape again. They think they got to compete again.
mhm,
And then from there, I went and competed again, 2013 and in 2014. And that was it. I mean, I've competed many times in between, but that was my final one. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. And you can see the muscle maturity
yeah.
changes through all the years.
And you looked
And
amazing. I saw your I think that was maybe in Vegas, the pictures that you posted on your Instagram from the competition. Like it was like a throwback Thursday. I think that was maybe from Vegas or maybe from South Africa, but you looked amazing. Not, you still do now, but it was incredible to see. Like, I mean, you can tell the seasoned muscle from just like a brand new muscle, and you have the seasoned muscle. Like you got, yes, you looked amazing.
yeah.
Did you incorporate fasting when you were training for the competitions? Did you have a coach or did you kind of do it yourself?
Yes. No, I was always my own coach. I
Wow.
had, I did have a friend of mine who did my stats for me, though, who would measure my body fat percent and just make sure that I was on track, or if I would needed, if I slip in some way, he
Hmm.
just kept me on track. If, and a very good friend of mine, Jan, his name was Jan from South Africa, and otherwise I did all my coaching and training myself. So I always incorporated fasting in the mornings during the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have my first meal around about, say, brunch time, around about 1 p.m. But I would fast through the mornings. And then on the weekends, I would eat from the morning straight,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I'm not going to go into great detail of it, but yes, I did incorporate my fasting protocols during the week.
That's
Definitely.
awesome. I mean, just the fact that you coached yourself is incredible. I know you're like a fitness trainer uh, already, but like it's hard to coach yourself, you know, when you're competing for something like a bikini competition, for sure. And you do coach people now, right? For bikini and stuff. I know Monica is probably training for another Monica, the other Monica. I think she's training for another bikini competition as well.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So it's great. They also, people need to understand that the bikini competitions, it's a sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different to lifestyle. So once you step into the zone of bikini competition, your
Mm-hmm.
food combinations change completely,
Yeah.
completely, because your protein intake has to be much higher. So if you are incorporating fasting, when you do have your meals, you really need to have your food combinations and your portions of proteins, fats, and etc., needs to be on point for that specific goal or that specific weight or height, or that specific person needs to be,
Mm-hmm.
because the fasting is incorporated. So you want to use the best of both worlds for this sport.
Yeah.
And then the lifestyle side of outside of competition, you use fasting
Mm-hmm.
and again food combinations as a lifestyle. Your food that you eat during lifestyle is totally different and combined totally different to compared to bikini
Competition.
meal prep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different.
Yeah.
But fasting, if you incorporate fasting for bikini, it's fantastic.
It's the best combination. I mean, I do have a coach that is allowing me to incorporate fasting, which is amazing because most of the coaches I interviewed before I got decided on this coach, they wanted me to eat every 3 hours, like still that old bodybuilding mentality. And this girl, she's on point. Like she understands, like she's like towards the end, we'll incorporate longer fasts. We can do 72s, but she's allowing me to fast, like not super long, obviously. When I'm training, I can't fast on those days when I'm
Yeah,
lifting, but it's so refreshing to see that because it makes a whole lot of difference. Like I know people that are training for a bikini and they're doing like an hour, 2 hours of cardio and
yeah,
just insanity. And I'm like, I don't have to do that,
yeah.
because I'm incorporating fasting on my days off. And then
Yeah.
when I'm training, I'm eating, So, and I'm not eating 6 meals a day. I'm eating, maybe 2 or 3 sometimes, depending. Obviously, you can't eat like one sitting, with that much protein, but
Yeah.
it's a game changer. I don't think I would have decided to do it if I could not incorporate fasting because it's too hard. Like who can eat every 3 hours? And plus it's not healthy. Stimulating that blood sugar every 3 hours, and you're hungry all the time.
With me, when I did my competitions, obviously I'd be fasting in the mornings during the week, but the food I ate, I had to make sure I could get a certain. And I prepped my own meal plan for myself. I needed to get this amount of protein in my system in order to get
Hmm.
my muscle pumped, to get my muscle popping.
Yeah.
Everybody says you're going to lose muscle, you're going to lose muscle, right?
If you're
But
fasting, you mean if you're fasting or
yeah, if you're doing cardio, you're
Mhm.
fasting, you're not eating enough proteins,
Yeah.
or you're going to lose muscle all the time. But you can't lose muscle like that, but you can soften up. The main thing was for me, the challenge was for me. By incorporating the fasting, I needed to get in a certain amount of protein.
Hmm.
That was important. So, eating 2 to 3 hours, I tell you, my food combinations, I was hungry all the time. hungry all
Mm-hmm.
the time. And that was the most irritating part for me, because
Yeah.
I even would wake up at 12 or 2 in the morning starving, even though I was eating
Mm-hmm.
all this protein and incorporating the fasting. But yeah, to get in certain amount of protein was challenging for me, but it was what I needed to do. That's why it's not lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not lifestyle. And you become totally dehydrated purposely
Mm-hmm.
when you step on stage. When you step
Yeah.
on stage. And
Yeah,
then,
it's a different, definitely different lifestyle. Would you compete again sometime in the future, or are you finished with the competitions? That's something you would ever consider doing again?
well, I can say never say never,
Yes.
but at the moment I'm not interested to compete. Um, I've got so many other interests that I need to fulfill, and I've done it, won it, got the T-shirt, got the
That's
crown.
right. You've done it. You accomplished that. You won, and I mean,
Yeah,
your bikini career was amazing. Your physique and bikini. So totally get it. Like, I mean, you don't have to. You already proved that to yourself. So you're kind of like me. I'm like, okay, what's the next goal? What's the next thing I can achieve?
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. So how did so you have the Ka-Pow business, right? How did that start? And tell us a little bit about like the services that you provide for women or men as well. Do you coach men as well, or
Men as
main?
well, definitely. Yes, a male and female, both. What I do is I have an online coaching server where I have different studios. So
Okay.
I've got the Propel Body Studio where I do training, live training sessions, and my clients log in at certain times when I go live.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they're not able to catch me with the live training sessions, they can catch up in the library. So I've got the Ka-Pow Body Coaching Studio. All my coaching studios is where I go live. And then I've got the Lifestyle Coaching Studio where I do life coaching, health coaching, nutrition, where I go live every Thursday in that coaching studio.
Okay.
And again, my clients can catch me live and chat with me, or they can catch the live in the library again. And then I've got the Ka-Pow Community Studio, where all my clients are able to chat and support each other and keep updated of the new things that I'm bringing in, etc. And then separate from the Ka-Pow coaching studios, where I do the training, nutrition, one-on-one studio. That's the consultation room
Mm-hmm.
where I go do one-on-one coaching, lifestyle coaching. As I have the separate studio for the Ka-Pow Snakers group,
Mm.
and that is free of charge. Free of charge. I don't charge for my Snakers coaching. If any of my Ka-Pow members want to jump into Snakers, it's no extra charge. The only thing is you need to be a member. So it's a separate studio where I do all my group coaching for
Gotcha.
Snakers
Oh,
in the
awesome.
studios.
What is your current fasting protocol? Are you following a specific protocol? And can you give some examples of that? You're obviously lean, so you're probably doing it just for maintenance and health.
Well, I live a fasting focused lifestyle. That's my lifestyles. So even if I'm traveling, if I'm on holiday, if I'm at home, it's my lifestyle. I take it with
Mhm.
me wherever I go. So what I do, say 5 times a week, I live on 24s.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe twice a week, I might combine 2 meals. And there might be a meal around about 4 p.m. And then I'll have dinner with my family. And then I most definitely every single month I throw in a 48 now and then and a 72 now and then every month as well. So that's my lifestyle.
Mhm.
I do not ever eat throughout the day. Ever.
That's awesome.
It's just not, I just don't do it. My system is just not comfortable with that. And it's definitely making sure that you eat in a healthy manner, food combinations. Obviously I
Mhm.
do enjoy a treat now and then, but it's my lifestyle, my chosen
So
lifestyle.
Monday through Friday, OMAD, basically. So you eat one meal a day, right?
With a maybe say a 2-hour eating window
Okay.
type of thing.
Can you give
Yeah.
like an example? Like what's your normal typical meal? Like what do you normally eat like when you break your fast on those daily OMAD days? Like what does it
It
typically look like?
always be obviously a high protein, so it would be either steak or salmon. I'm sure on Instagram there's a couple of pickies of the foods we eat. It will be steak and salmon
Hmm.
and fish, and then I always have salad, mixed green salad, feta, different greens, and avo, and then a vegetable. So I don't do any heavy starches at nighttime ever. If I do, maybe it'd be like a treat. But the majority of our home food is protein and a
Veggies.
vegetable salad. Yeah,
Does your husband fast with you? Does he incorporate fasting in his lifestyle as well?
he does.
Oh,
He
that's
does.
awesome. I love that.
He does. He would have a 2 meal a day. Two
Hmm.
meals. So it would be either and it will always be around about 11, 12. Sometimes it would be at 3, but it will always be 2 meal. And
So
then at times he does a 24. He goes, babe, I'm gonna be doing a 24. I said, go for it, great. Because he wants to do a detox. It's health. And you
mhm,
feel it out. You become intuitive with your system and you feel like I just want to detox a bit, you know?
mhm. Oh, I
That's
love
it.
that. That's great that he's also in tune with fasting and he does it with you. That's great. And he
Absolutely.
understands it. He understands the lifestyle. It's not just let's lose some weight and go back to eating all day long. It's like you're right. It's a lifestyle. You just
And he became he was taught this obviously since meeting me in the relationship. So for the past 5 years, he's incorporated this lifestyle, and it works wonderfully for him as
well,
well.
he probably feels better. It's anti-aging. There's just so many different benefits. I love that, you're a prime example of you don't have to fast for weight loss because you don't have any weight to lose, but you fast for just feeling better, the mental clarity, the uh, living longer, anti-cancer. Like there's just so many benefits of allowing your body just to heal. We
Absolutely.
don't
And
give our
he has a
bodies enough time. We all fast at night, but like most people don't even fast at night because they eat like up till they go to bed, like, and they're digesting food throughout the night. So they never let their bodies, their digestive system to rest and actually heal and do what it's supposed to do. I mean, back in
absolutely.
the days, like our ancestors, they didn't stuff their faces all day long. They didn't have snacks. They didn't have chips. They went and hunted, got some meat. They ate for a little while, and then they probably didn't have anything for, a few days. And they didn't obsess about it.
Yes, and
So,
during that time, they got was healing. They got a digestive system was taking a break.
yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now we're so obsessed, like food, like the addiction to food is just insane. And a lot of times it's not our fault. It really is a food industry with all the stuff that's in the food, the junk food. It changes your receptors in your brain, your dopamine, your serotonin just completely out of whack. And it is hard for people to do that. But I find it, I don't know if that's true for you as well, those 72-hour fasts, I feel like they reset my receptors. Like, let's say I go on vacation, I eat kind of bad sugar, I have some treats, or I drink. When I
Mhm.
do that 72-hour fast, I am back to like my norm. Like, I'm not craving these foods. Have you found that yourself?
Absolutely. The 72 is the greatest cleansing
Mhm.
system, protocol to follow to cleanse the system. Your adrenal glands, also if you with too much coffee, your adrenal glands need a break. Your
Yes.
hormones balance out because
Yes.
of all the junk that one might have or alcohol that might have. Your
Hmm.
liver needs to detox, has to, and the 72 is magical,
Hmm.
absolutely magical for that. No, it just
Yeah.
resets everything.
Yes.
And
Oh,
I
I
just
love
wish
it.
everybody would
Mm.
just try it out a little bit, just try it out a little bit. Get the feel good hormones flowing and get the
Yes.
confidence built up again. Give that
Yes.
digestive system a break, at
And
least,
yeah, like you said, and just being able to keep the promise you made to yourself, okay, I'm going to go 72 hours. It just, again, it just changes, your confidence, how you feel about yourself, because you keep those promises you made to yourself, and you can achieve, even if it's just a 72-hour fast, being able to achieve that and believe that you can do it. It's so, it's just amazing, so liberating. Oh, I love it. Um, any things, like any challenging things about fasting that you've experienced, or um, especially the beginning?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't find the 72 challenging for me at all. I didn't.
Because you're such a badass. You're just such a badass. You are.
I'll say badass about me is because my why is so important. The
Hmm.
why, my chosen
Yes.
why I do what I do, is badass, and my commitment to my inner being. So that nothing can derail that ever, ever. That
Mhm.
connection is it's done. That's it. And my why. And I tell you, the most important part is because I appreciate my life so much. I appreciate my my little family I have, the three of us, and my lifestyle, my home, my dogs. That your happiness is the greatest gift you can give your loved ones.
Mhm.
And I do my best to keep myself balanced and happy and um, balanced and to give that as a gift for my family at home. Yeah.
Mhm.
So when I do certain things, it needs to be to grow myself for health reasons and to live a joyous life.
Mhm.
That's you're born right to have a joyous life.
I like that you said my why, because sometimes people forget, like, oh, I can't fast. It's just too hard. How do you do it? And I'm like, I have a reason why.
There we
And like
go.
you just mentioned, that you have to have that reason why you're doing it, because if it's just like, whatever, you're not going to stick to it. Your reasons, being healthy, being there for your kids when they grow up, like
Yes,
those reasons why are so important to have and write down and remind yourself frequently, because we do, life gets busy and we're like, oh, I'm just going to eat because I'm stressed, or I'm just going to drink because I'm stressed. But when you have those reasons, big enough reasons why you're doing something, it changes the way you approach things. Like suddenly things are not as, hard. Like, yeah, I can do a 72-hour fast because it's going to help me be healthy for my kids, feel better mentally. And like you said, being able to give your family that internal happiness that you have is the
yes.
biggest gift. You're not looking at your husband for the happiness to bring to you. You're already happy. And it just that balance, being able to balance those things together, it's amazing. And
I
sometimes we
think it's
forget that we're always looking, well, who can make me happier? How can that person bring something to my life? You have to do it first yourself.
correct. Correct. You can't rely on somebody to bring you that happiness. It's like their
Mhm.
duty to make me happy. No,
Yes, it
it's the
doesn't
other.
work like that. No.
Your partner should add blessings, add happiness to your life, not like
Yes.
be the responsible one to make you happy. You in charge of that.
Mhm. People that lack confidence, like what would be some tips to help you be more confident? Like what can you do to change that?
What built my confidence is that I had to rely on myself.
Hmm.
Um, I was single mom. My son is the greatest blessing to me that I've wanted my son. We plan to have my son, but I had to rely on myself. I had to have belief in myself. Mm, I had to believe in myself. But how
Mhm.
does one get there? Now, this is the most beautiful part, is that I had to dig deep because nobody could give me the answers. I couldn't ask for the answers. I couldn't ask for the help. I couldn't ask somebody to hold my hand. I couldn't. And that was through having that strong, deep connection with my inner being, my inner spirit. So it was through meditation that built up my self belief that, firstly, I'm not alone, so I don't have to be scared. And
Mm.
it starts from that. You're scared, you're vulnerable. Um, Confidence in believing in myself, my appearance, or whatever it may be. I have a son to take care of, etc. So through meditation or prayer, as some people would say it, every single morning. It started when my son was born because I was single. I chose to be single with my son. Um, since then, at 16 years ago, I started meditating. And through deep prayer and understanding and listening carefully to my guidance, writing the notes down through messages I would receive. Um, that is what built my confidence to believe in myself without the approval from anybody else.
That's so good. So powerful right there. So confidence is not something that you get from other people. Confidence is you believing in yourself. You
Yes,
build your own confidence, not
yes,
what everybody else thinks of you. Confidence is you from the inside. And again, goes back to being happy with who you are, trusting
yes.
yourself, and just
Trust
taking care of yourself, because you can't be happy if you're eating junk 24 hours. I mean,
you
your
lose
body.
respect for yourself. You lose respect for yourself.
Hmm.
And when you are respecting yourself, you collaborate. Firstly, you collaborate a team with yourself and your inner being. So
Yeah.
if you are that is the most powerful team. It's
Hmm.
your silent partner in your life. It's your most trusted partner in your life, is your inner being. And that you own it. You can never lose it, and it will never leave you. Only you can leave it. It can
Hmm.
never leave you. So if you're feeling lost, you can just tap back into your power zone. And the confidence is not having the approval from others. Confidence is knowing you respect yourself. If you lose your respect,
Hmm.
you you're going to lose that connection. If you lose your confidence, you're feeling vulnerable, boom, there you've lost that connection.
Hmm.
So when that does happen, you know you need to tap back into that confidence zone that you can always rely on yourself, and you can always create a confidence zone or confidence feeling that you approve of.
Hmm.
You approve of. If somebody else wants to say something about you that is totally the opposite of you, like, how can they say that? You look at yourself in the mirror and you would
Yeah.
say, are you going to think what they're saying, or
Mm-mm.
are you going to choose what you believe? And you're like, damn, I believe that. Don't
Hmm.
worry about that.
Yeah.
It's about what you believe and what you feel. So obviously they need some inner work for themselves, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. You got to rely on you. And I always say to my clients, you got to own it.
Hmm.
Own it. Own you, and be proud of
Yes.
you. That approval.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so powerful. I mean, you cannot, that is such a powerful statement.
Mm.
It's nobody can build that confidence in you but yourself. And
Yeah. Yeah.
as long as you worry about other what others think, you're never gonna be happy. You
Oh no.
cannot worry what other people think, because to be honest, most of the times people don't even really think that much,
Yeah.
the things that you think maybe others think of you, they probably don't, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because think about yourself. Like, I don't go looking at others people and think certain things about them. I mean, I have so much going on in my life. I don't even worry about anyone else. So, yes. Do
Yeah.
you meditate daily? Like, what's your meditation practice? Do you meditate in the morning, and how long do you usually meditate for?
So obviously sometimes I do grab mornings where I would sleep in because I might be lacking sleep, and I would definitely take care of sleep and sleep in the mornings. But majority of the times my meditation would take place early mornings before my family wake up. Wake up in the morning, I don't get done. I'll just put a nightgown over. I would light a candle, grab my notebook, put the date at the top, put the notebook and pen aside, and do a meditation of silencing my mind for around about 20 minutes. And sometimes I get so taken on the next level with my meditation, it goes longer. But it's beautiful. I am so not me if I don't meditate. I'm like lost. I have to meditate and give thanks before I start this day, and have listened carefully to the guidance I need in order to move forward with whatever I am working on.
And then you journal too after you meditate? Do you journal daily or?
Every single day.
I love it. See, this is a person that's got everything going in her life. She still journals. Like journaling, it's so being able to put those thoughts on the paper. There's just something so powerful about it. I don't do it every single day, but I do it often. I probably need to do it every single day, maybe like right after I meditate, because I love it. It almost like cleanses you. You can just like, okay, if you had a hard day at work or something, or your day was, rough, like there's just something powerful about putting those words on the paper. Even if you're thinking it, like you're thinking about something, it's not the same.
Write it down. The minute you write it down, it's that connection, it lightens your inner being up. It's kind of like puts light on. You can hear it, but the minute you write it, the second time you're saying it to yourself, and then you verbalize it at three times. So it's you hear it, write it, you say it. It's done. It's done. And then you leave it alone. You don't have to stress or worry about it. It's going to happen in its good timing. If you have to see my office, there's notebooks everywhere, and there's all like some different dates, and there's little pieces of paper, because I could be walking around in the home, or I just go into the kitchen, and then something comes to my mind. I run back upstairs, I write it down.
Oh, that's awesome. So like anything, ideas or anything that bothers you, like you just write it down.
I only write down things that inspire me. I don't write down anything that is negative.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I only lighten up or focus or empower positivity or positive things that I want to focus on. If I am going to look to something that is negative or something that is bothering me, that's going to get bigger.
So what happens when you do have some negative thoughts? Like, how do you reroute your thoughts, or what do you do then?
Okay. Well, I give myself a few seconds to change my thoughts immediately.
Love it. It's
That's
awesome.
it.
Be like, you have few seconds to get out of my head and move on.
So how do you do that? So immediately I think about something that makes me feel good. It's like kind of like closing the door and then opening the window and see the sun. So anything that's negative, yes, it's going to bother me and it's going to ruin the day if I don't stop it immediately. But if I stop it within a few seconds, it's not going to activate. It's not going to fill my system, my immune system, with this horrible feeling. I have to make sure that the joy comes in and just kicks negativity on its ass, you know? Because the bigger your positivity is, the negativity just swishes away.
It goes away. And same positivity, same thing with, it's a practice. It doesn't just naturally happen. You have to, we are in general, our brains are designed to think negative, right? Because it's like it's protecting you from things. But you have to reroute those thoughts. Our brain, like, it takes time. It doesn't just like happen overnight. You have to even just the way you change the way you think of yourself, when you're overweight, like when you start to think of yourself in a different way, it slowly will start to change those thoughts in your mind. And same thing with positivity, rerouting the negative thoughts to, and I mean, you've probably been doing it for so long that when you have a little negative thought, you like immediately attack it and you're like, psh, go, you kick
Yeah.
it out of your brain. So, but for a lot of people, they do, especially with depression and other stuff and everything that's going on in the world, we do get those negative thoughts, and it's okay to have them. It's just
Mhm.
knowing how to, get rid of them and just reroute the
Well,
positive.
without the negative, how are you going to know what you're wanting?
Mm,
So if you hit a negative side of things, it's showing you what you don't want, and
mm-hmm.
immediately reroutes to you remembering what you do want.
Yes, yes. It's just like the night doesn't last forever, After the
Yeah,
night, there is the daylight. And so you have to remember that things are not going to stay the same. Things will
it's
get
up
better.
if you're going to empower this part of your life, or if
Hmm.
you're going to empower this part of of your life. I would prefer to empower the happy part of my life, because the happy part and the loving part, it's not, there's nothing more powerful than
Hmm.
that. The negativity cannot survive in it. So depression or anxiety or feelings of an illness, and that, the more, let's work on the word depression. It
Hmm.
happens because the negativity or the
Hmm.
bad side of things have been, that's all that person sadly has been focused on.
Hmm.
That has gotten bigger. The focus has gotten bigger on that. You wake up thinking about that. You live your day thinking about that. You go to bed thinking about that. You
Hmm.
wake up and it's a vicious circle and you can't get out. And it
Hmm.
gets deeper and darker and more sadder. And
Hmm.
it takes practice to step out of that whirlwind, step out. Every
Hmm.
time you get a moment, you got to practice, step out and start writing down things that make you feel good. Put on a piece of music that makes you
Hmm.
feel good, and practice these new habits until this starts to soften down and this gets bigger.
Mm, yeah, I love that. Yeah, if you continuously focus on the negative and you don't start putting a little bit of positivity in, you are gonna get more negative and more depressed and more depressed. Like that's just it doesn't work that way. So
Monica,
yes.
what happens when you are in a depressive state, or if you are sad, or if you
Hmm.
looking at the negativity the whole time? Your immune system drops down.
Yes.
Cells in your immune system takes a dive,
Hmm.
and that's not well-being. You got to take care of your health.
Yeah,
Balance it out. Mm.
100%. I do want to respect your time. Of course, it's like late in Dubai. I'm in Nashville, so it's like 10 o'clock here in Nashville. Yeah, almost 10, and it's 8 o'clock your time. So I just have a few last questions that I really wanted to ask you. Um, what three tips could you give people that are new to fasting or maybe are unsure about fasting? I mean, hopefully, people listening to what we already talked about earlier, it will convince them to try it out at least. But any tips for, especially for beginners, people that are new to fasting?
First of all, is if they want to incorporate fasting into their lifestyle, would it be for weight loss, or would it be for health reasons? Or needs to be what reason they are approaching fasting
Mhm.
for. Okay, but just for lifestyle as well, I would say do your homework. Do your homework and
Mm,
understand the correct way of fasting, and for different reasons. All right, there's different reasons one can approach fasting for. So do your homework and understanding that. Um, should you be obese, or should you wish to just renew your whole system, renew your, or just, you don't have to be obese, but you want to lose around about, say, 30 pounds or something. Make sure that you can trust and rely on a coach that has experience in working with other people's health.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to pursue the fasting journey, make sure that you grab somebody or ask somebody or sign up with somebody that you can work with, that has worked with other people, the experience working with other people, not you yourself. Now I've done, example, I've lost so much pounds and etc., and now I can coach other people.
Yeah.
And it's sad, I know you some people think they can, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous. You don't have the experience of working with other people's mental state, health, background health reasons. Everybody's body reacts differently.
Yes.
So number 2 was, if you're going to pursue a long journey of fasting, do your homework and find somebody that has the experience of working with health and other people. I would say number 3, your why, is prepare yourself to get ready. Prepare yourself mentally. I just did a beautiful chat in my lifestyle coaching studio on Thursday. It was about getting ready to be ready. So if you
I
say it
like
again,
that. Getting ready to be ready. I like that.
receive these changes. Because my experience working with people, they could be losing the weight and then they stop because they don't believe that they can actually have this new lifestyle. It's a block. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself that there are going to be detox symptoms.
Know what to expect.
Yes, that was definitely from the homework side. Detoxing. Do not prepare yourself with words of self-worth, like understanding that you are deserving of that. So that's the mental side of preparing. Your detox symptoms. And the other one was prepare yourself. If you have to take off work within the first week, stay at home for the first 3 days, because some people might hit a low until the ketones kick in, and some people hit a high. Just prepare. So get a good coach, do your homework, and prepare yourself.
Yeah, because everybody has different detox symptoms, depending on how much buildup you have in your body. Some people, and you want to be able to know, okay, what is detox and what is dangerous, like some people just like, yeah, go fast as long as you can. No. I mean, there's so much more that goes into it. And like you said, everyone is different. And it's not, a cookie cutter situation. And being able to have someone that can recognize your symptoms, what's normal versus what's dangerous, it's very important. What personally for you, what 2 or 3 things you wish you had known sooner in your life with anything, like relationships, weight loss, anything at all?
I wish I had known sooner about meditation,
Mm.
about finding that connection with your inner spirit. That is, because that was my saving time. That's what mentally with everything. It's without that, I don't think I would be here today like the way I am. With the meditation and or prayer or whatever, that inner deep connection. It's so different about going to groups and communities where I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about having that private inner connection with your inner spirit. That is the most powerful part of life. And I wish I'd known that earlier in my younger days, when I was in my teens or early 20s, I'd say. No, when you I'd say in my early 20s, it was fantastic. There was no fear. There was no fear. I would just go, go, go.
Yeah.
But the minute something hit hard, then I didn't know what to do,
Mm.
But it was through that I found my inner being, because I had nobody to turn to.
Mm.
So, but when you're down and then you listen carefully, and I was asking, 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 and it came to me. It's the most beautiful experience of my entire life.
Mm.
It's
You
fantastic.
inspiring me to meditate even more. I meditate pretty much every day, but like this morning I didn't because I just got home from work and, running around. So I'll probably do it later. But yes, I love it. And, sometimes people are like, well, what is it? Is it a prayer or is it meditation? It could be either or. Sometimes, some days when I meditate, I just pray. I pray in Polish too. So I'll just sit there and just pray, say a little prayer, close my eyes, and just like, because when you pray, it's
Yeah,
like your mind doesn't go into doesn't go 200 miles an hour. You focus on just that being in the moment. And so
correct.
it really doesn't matter. It could be just sitting there breathing, could be saying a prayer, whatever it is for you. It's meditation to me.
Quieting your mind and finding the alignment within your system.
Mm-hmm.
That alignment keeps you balanced and in control of situations the best that you can be. And there's a very big difference between when you are praying or when you are speaking in your meditation or writing down things. There's a very thin line between speaking with desperation of please help me here, but no, forget about that part. You want to just
Mm-hmm.
always focus on appreciation, giving thanks for everything or giving thanks for the small little things all the time. The more you give thanks to, the more you feel blessed, the more you appreciate things in your life,
Mm-hmm.
bigger.
Being grateful, gratefulness practice. That's another one that's huge.
Because why never ever approach meditation or pray only in the difficult times.
Hmm.
It needs to be done through
Yes.
appreciation on the in the good
Mm.
times, much always, and the difficult or challenging times will be easier, and just ask
Mhm.
for guidance.
Anything
Yeah,
else? Any other things that you wish you have known sooner?
I would say the prolonged fasting.
Hmm.
I wish I'd known sooner about 48s and 72s.
Hmm.
Because I believed in all the others and understood everything else, but that 48 and 72s, it
Hmm.
just takes you to the next level. And I would love to have experienced that in my earlier days because it's great. It's
Yes.
great. So it would be understanding that. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely one of mine for sure. I wish I've known, but not that we do know. What is the longest fast you've done? It just made me think about it because you said 48, 72, 72. Is 72 the longest you've done, or have you gone any over
Oh,
that?
96. A
96.
90.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Awesome.
don't do anything longer. I don't promote anything longer ever.
Hmm.
96 would be the cutoff.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? I see I go again because I have so many questions for you. What are your thoughts on people that fast, they go, couple weeks, a month? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
My
Um,
thoughts on it is unfortunately it's not going to teach them any type of self-control when
mhm.
you get into
Start
a
to eat.
lifestyle. Yeah.
Hmm.
And you're
Hmm.
not learning about yourself. You now are getting to a point where you just letting go of what you're wanting to learn. There's nothing now. So
Hmm.
it's not empowering.
Yeah.
It's you might feel empowered at the time that your self-control is
Yeah.
superhuman, but
And I think
it's
Cole actually mentions that. He says, till you can control your refeeds, don't fast long because the longer you fast, the more you're going to binge when you break your fast because you're going to be still out of control. It's the refeeds, the small refeeds, being able
correct.
to control your food. The fasting is easy. Once you go over those 3-4 days, it's like,
Yeah,
it's
it
not
works.
hard.
It's nothing. It's like nothing.
Yes.
You carry on. The hunger's gone. Kind of
Hmm.
like become numb about it. And that's what happens with a 96. It's like, okay, that's it now. I need to
Hmm.
get some type of appetite coming back again. That's when you know it needs to step back into that lifestyle. So
Yes.
yeah, I don't approve of it. I don't coach it. I don't encourage it.
Hmm. Plus,
Encourage
it can
non.
be simply dangerous for people that are not monitored by their doctor. I mean, if you
Yeah,
go, especially if you're not taking in electrolytes when you're fasting that long, you're drinking plain water. I mean, your
same.
medication, So yes, if you go over a certain time, it's just it can be dangerous as well because you do need to have a medical supervision. Really, anything over 5 days or anything 4 to 5 days, you should have someone supervising you because you never know how your body's going to react.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely. I agree. I'm the same. I don't promote anything over 5 days, to be honest.
Okay.
My longest was 5 days, I think.
Mhm.
So, and that was fine, but I already practiced fasting way before I did the 5 day fast. But again, I like the shorter ones. The 72s are great. 48s are great. Anything really between that 24 to 72 hour mark, I love. So,
If you do 72s and 96s, you're going to lose the same amount of weight if your
mhm,
refeeds are correct and your
yes.
movement accountability is there. You'll
Hmm.
lose the exact same weight as the person that's fasting for 15 days straight.
Hmm.
You'll lose the same amount of weight. People don't realize it,
Yeah.
but your refeeds need to be monitored correctly.
Yes, absolutely. And again, going back to, just because you did a 15-day fast, it doesn't mean that you should go back to eating junk all day long. And you're gonna regain the weight, and it's even worse. It's such a yo-yo, unhealthy way.
Yes,
Yes.
because when you do the refeed, that is what your body is going to soak up. Your cells are
Mm-hmm.
going to soak up that type of nutrition. Do
Mm-hmm.
you imagine you cleaning your system from all the
Mm-hmm.
toxins, and now you refeed on all junk? You, it's going to be even more dangerous for your cells and that
Mm-hmm.
system because that's what's going to soak in. The body's going to soak all those toxins in even
Yes.
deeper. So how
And
dangerous is that?
yeah,
Very.
absolutely. And really knowing how to refeed. Like you're not supposed to have like really high carbs when you first refeed because of the refeed syndrome. I mean, it's very dangerous. A lot of people don't know about it. So there's a certain things you have to follow when you go over a certain, 3, 4, 5 days fast. Like you have to follow the proper way of refeeding. You can't intake so much food because your body can actually, people can die from that. I'm gonna list all the like your website, micheleneadamo.com. I'll list that in the notes. Your IG is Michelene Adamo, correct? Your
Yes.
Instagram, and then you have the Facebook group, the Snake Diet Michelene. Is that for ladies only or for women, for guys as?
The Facebook group is I don't do coaching on the Facebook group. It's Snake Diet Coaching with Michelene, but it's not actual coaching on that Facebook group. It's for male and female. There is
Okay.
3 questions that one needs to answer before they can get into the group. It's just a community of people that believe in snakers, snake diet and health and that. And then obviously I let the group know when I'm taking in more people for my coaching group, which I do for the online in the online coaching studios. So every month I promote the new Ka-Pow Snakers journey where they
Mm-hmm.
lose plus minus
Awesome.
30. So that's on the website as well. Yeah, so
Okay.
it would be, and my personal Facebook, you can ask, request a friend if you want, Michelene Adamo on my
Perfect.
personal Facebook. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so, so much. I'm so excited I was able to talk to you. I love your journey. I love all that you do for others, the support for women and men out there, and just spreading the word of fasting, prolonged fasting, and how amazing it can be when you connect everything together, the mind, the body, everything. It's really, I think it's like the secret sauce of happiness and
Yes.
longevity and everything. It's just, it's amazing. So thank you for everything that you do. I'm so grateful to be able to connect with you and continue to follow your journey as well. So I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Great. No, thank you so much for the invite. And this whole fasting conversation, the whole package creates this Ka-Pow life, you know? So let it,
Ka-Pow.
Ka-Pow, make it your the most favorite
I
life to
love
live.
it. I love it. Thank you so much, Micheline. Have a good night. I know it's like bedtime for you. I'm gonna make myself go to the gym and yes, so yeah.
And may you continue with your journey and make it a great one. I'm excited for
Thank you so
you.
much. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm looking forward to, there's a lot of amazing, exciting things happening. So I'm just going with the flow, with the energy. You know, this is like, I feel like you're like my soul sister. I'm so similar to like your personality. Like, I just love that, you know, passion, things that I'm passionate about. And, you know, I work full-time job. I don't need to do this. I love spreading the word. I love showing people how much better their life can be and being able to inspire others. I love it. It's just something that no money can buy, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what life's about, you know?
Yes. 100%.